what society has said is a successful image, like business. Okay, wear a suit. Simple, right? You're drawn to the suits or wearing something like that because you like it. So to me, the formulas do that, have more success. Then why are people still not doing it?
Find some sort of harmony and balance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, BC here again with my special guest Pablo. Today we're gonna talk about making more money. And I wanna start with this, man. They say if you look like $1 million, it changes perception and it's gonna not only make you feel better, but obviously people will trust you more in business and all that. What can you expand upon that? Because I know that to be true based on my experience and I believe that, but from your professional position, what would you add to that, or what specifically would you say about that? Because a lot of people today will say, well, you know, Mark Zuckerberg wears sweats and he's a billionaire, so why do I have to dress up?
Well, you know, you don't have to worry about how you look, because it's not about looks, right? Just be yourself. What does that even mean, right? Being yourself. Do you know who you are? But just to get started, that's a very relative philosophical question, right? But there's a study in Oxford University a long time ago that studied the psychology and the impact of clothes in people, right? So they divided, it was 100 people, and they divided 50 people and 50 people in two groups, right? One was wearing like a lab coat, and they told them, this is a lab coat for a scientist. And then in the other group, they gave them the same coat, but they told them this is for an artist. This is an artist coat, right? When you're about to paint. Yeah. And then they created a whole a quiz, right? They gave them mathematical quiz. And they did some studies, and the results that were just mind-blowing, because the group that had the scientist in quotes lab coat, they performed better, way better than the ones wearing the artist one. Now, this is not to say that being an artist is worse or better or nothing like that. It's just a representation that the impact and the psychological impact that clothes have on ourselves and our subconscious mind is there, whether you are aware of it or not, whether you like it or not. So if you look like $1 million, chances are that you'll attract more of that type of clients, right? Not only outside of yourself, but also inside of you, you'll feel more like it. And probably you'll talk, you'll move, your body language will change and will shift in such a way that you will acquiesce the mindset of a millionaire, right? Because if you study a millionaire, the body language of a millionaire, what type of places they go, how do they talk, how do they move, what type of clothes they wear, what colors they wear, because that also impacts you, right? The impact of a color. So that study to me was like, wow, this is amazing. So I can change and shift my mindset just by wearing something special, one unique garment or in a specific outfit. You've heard that as within, so as without, or if you feel good and if you feel great on the inside, then you'll probably exude that and you'll look great, right? Well, most people don't realize that happens also the opposite way. If you look great on the outside, even if you feel horrible, even if you don't have confidence, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you are cheating your mind into thinking that, oh, wait, hold on a second, I look good, then I'll feel good. You'll start resetting your mind into becoming that which you want or need. So if you are trying to get more money, wear things that will attract more money in your mind, right? Not to say that you have to look in one specific way. It depends, right? If you're a rapper, if you're a hip hop artist, money is gonna be, or the look of money is gonna be different from the one who is a CEO from a banking company, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's not the suit and the tie. No, that's one way, and that is the most common way. But as an image consultant, as a professional image consultant, I'm here to tell you that it's relative to you. That's the most common basic stuff. You should avoid that, because otherwise you just become like a cookie cutter. Oh, I'll wear the red tie and the suit. Yeah. No, that's just one way of million gazillion ways that you can accomplish looking like someone who has money, right?
So I have an additional question to that. How much of that is like the old, we know that as human beings, we appreciate beauty and aesthetics as an example. So how much of that is, we can say, internal, meaning we're just drawn to it, versus how much would you say is like societal influence and what they've said is success, like the suit and the power tie and all that? Do you see, like, is that 50-50? What do you see it as from your position? Because that's what I'm always thinking about in my head. How much of this is I want to do it versus, oh, just society told me to do it?
Oh man, that's a great question, man. It reminds me of a story, an inspirational story from Onassis. I think that's the name. The guy that married Jackie Kennedy after Kennedy died, right?
Yeah.
He was from Greece and he had no money to himself. Yeah. But then he came to America, and his story in a nutshell comes that he would hang around places where millionaires were, right?
Yeah.
Because basically the way that our brains work is whatever you surround yourself with, you get accustomed to it, right? The vibration aspect of it. In nature, you can see it. When you are surrounded by beauty, you feel more at ease. Versus when you're surrounded by chaos, your brain starts gets into an alert mode. I'm in danger.
Yeah.
So you don't feel peaceful. And if you don't have peace of mind, you will not be able to transcend and think about ways of making money and being more creative, right? You'll be stuck in the survival mode. Which brings me to this next part that I want to talk about, which is if you look at the hood, right? If you look at those places that are aesthetically ugly, the construction is not beautiful. I don't care if you agree with me or not, it's not aesthetically pleasant to the eye. When you live there, when you are surrounded with this type of aesthetics, you feel threatened. So you don't have the opportunity to think outside of the box and be like, man, I want to make more money. You're thinking, oh man, I don't want to get clapped, I don't want to get killed. If I look better, I will be outside of the aesthetics of this place. I'll get attention and probably I'll get mugged. Probably someone will try to harm me. So that affects your mind, of course. Versus like this guy Onassis, what he didn't have any money, but he wanted to be around places that were beautiful. He would hang around the most beautiful, luxurious restaurants. Even if he didn't have any money, he just ordered water and would just stay there because he understood that the mind would operate in a different way when you are surrounded in a yacht, for example. Yeah. He would hang around those type of places. Yachts, luxurious places. You don't have to have the money, but if just being around there, being surrounded by beauty, your mind operates in a different way. One way it's the society form of, oh, this is successful. Yes, that also comes into play. That also affects. But this is beyond society. This is beyond what people think or what they tell you. This is successful. This is not successful. Just by being surrounded by beauty, you will feel it. You don't even have to comprehend it. When you are with an architect, in a city that the architect is very beautiful, you will just feel it, right? When you go to Europe, when you go to Italy, for example, when you go to Spain, when you go to Greece, you get a different vibration, like, oh man, this is a beautiful place, right? So that also happens. You can translate that into your fashion, into the people that you surround yourself with, the places that you hang around with. If you're surrounded by beauty, you will probably have more creativeness. You will have more the mindset of creating more things, money, whatever that means, versus if you are in places that are a little bit more ugly, because you'll feel like, oh no, like trapped and things like that. I don't know if that answers your question, if it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in my mind, it's like, okay, the formula seems simple. We know what society has said is a successful image, like business. Okay, wear a suit. Simple, right? You're drawn to the suits or wearing something like that because you like it. So to me, the formula is do that, have more success. Then why are people still not doing it? You know what I mean? Like I told you, I like wearing suits. I think they're comfortable. I think all that other stuff is maybe there's an imbalance there where people are being so wrongly influenced by everything around them that now they tell themselves they don't like it. Yeah. But internally, like you want to do it, or they're so messed up. Yeah. Internally that, the suit's not me. It's like, dude, it's just a suit. That's not, we're not saying you have to change, right? Yeah. So to me, it was simple. Whether I liked the suit or not, with me, it was just, I never had worn a suit. I was an athlete. Yeah. I was just in shorts and wife beaters and sandals. Which,
but you felt good, right?
Which to you is like, you look like shit, right? Yeah. It's stupid. Why are you wearing Crocs and sandals, right? But I said, hey, I'm a businessman now. I'm going to be perceived as a basketball player if I wear the other shit. Yeah. So at least let me wear the suit. It wasn't like, oh, it's not me. It's, hey, this is my armor for battle. I'm going to battle. I have to wear the armor.
Exactly. Like how are you going to go into battle without the shield and the sword? Right. Like, well, but this is not me. I like the spear. Okay. But first you have to learn how to use the sword and the shield. Right. Later on you can use, I don't know, a katana or a samurai sword, whatever the hell you want, right? Yeah. But I don't want people to misinterpret this. You can make it your own, like you did. Yeah. After you learn the rules of the game, you can make it your own, because we all have our unique style. That's something that I want you to guys understand. It's not that you have to look the same as everybody else, but it'll make you, as a starting point, it'll make you feel better. And it'll get your mindset in the right place, in the right position where you can be like, okay, I'm a business person, I'm successful, I'm a millionaire, right? So you take from that and then you'll start adding certain things, your own flavor with details, with certain colors, or even with shoes like Bryan did. That's his own flair, right? And it makes sense because you're an athlete. Yeah. So it looked good on you. But another thing that I want to say is also, this is a very complicated subject because that's why I made a lot of books in regards to this subject, because what's beautiful to you, it might be beautiful, might be ugly for me, right? Yeah. What's beautiful in Japan, it's not beautiful in America. Yeah, right. So you have to study a little bit more when it comes to beauty and aesthetics and image and all these things. Yeah. But in a nutshell, just think about nature. When you are surrounded with nature, natural environments, you tend to feel more at ease, and we can all agree that a forest and a waterfall, it's beautiful. Whether you are Asian, Mexican, American, German, I don't care. We all agree that, man, this is a beautiful scenery, right? It's something beautiful. You want to take that and implement it into your fashion or implement it into your space, into your office, into the things that you do. That will set your mind straight and get you more into that flow of, okay, I'm beautiful, or I'm surrounded by beauty. Now I can create, and I can build a brand, a business, whatever, man.
Yeah, man, that's good. And I kind of wanted to do this video because people look at me now, but they're not with me 24/7. When I meet with a client, I still wear a suit. You know, like I don't mess around. They just see me being a little bit more crazy now, but that has more to do with an internal change versus anything else, right? Versus before, I felt like I had to go to sleep in a suit because I'm like, oh, you know, the gods are always looking at me. I have to wear a suit 24/7, right?
But you understand. I have to say that you understand the rules of the game. Now you made them your own, but that's something that most people don't even know. You've read my books. We've worked together, so you're one of the few guys that actually implemented all of these things. You've transcended the most basic stuff when it comes to fashion, style, and aesthetics. Cool. But that's you, man. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you, man, for doing this. Is there any other resources, maybe like on your website, or that you talk about or sell that people can help with, like maybe finding out their style? I know you have like the power of colors and all that. That way they can kind of tune in.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, of course, you can go to Style Systems with a double S at the end, stylesystems.com. And I have all my books there. I have the power of colors, and I have a free style quiz, so you can understand what style you are a little bit better. And I don't know, man, you take it from there.
Cool, yeah. So I'll leave all the links below. I'll leave his Instagram and everything else, and you guys can check out his stuff. Although this is very basic, and many people are like, well, duh. The first thing that people do is they combat this, and they'll bring up the Mark Zuckerberg example. Yeah, newsflash, ladies and gentlemen, dude's a fucking billionaire. He can do whatever the hell he wants. It doesn't matter if he wears a sweats or not, but even then, and
when he went to the court, he was wearing a suit.
Of course, he had to. The context called for him to wear it, right? But still, instead of understanding it for what it is, what do? We tend to, because we want it to fit our bullshit narrative, I don't need it. You want to look at the exception to the rule. And I've told you guys, whenever you look at the exception to the rule in these instances, you will fail. Like the person who tells me, oh, well, I know this one rich person who never worked on themselves, never did any of that stuff, and they're a millionaire. Okay, you know one. How about everybody else that didn't do that had to do it the normal way, right? Instead of resisting it, just learn, right? There's just certain things. This goes beyond what you think you know and everything. It's a code.
It's a science.
It's a science. Learn it, and that's it. You don't have to like it or not like it, in a sense. You'll learn to like it because I did, but I just looked at it from a mathematical standpoint. What input do I need to put in to get the result that I want? Exactly. Why make it more difficult for yourself to make money, attract what you want? Why? When you can just literally, okay. Like it literally in my mind, I put on the suit, and I know this from experience, and this is how we're wrapping it up. I would wear the suits and people would respond to me differently. I remember that stupid experiment they did where people would jaywalk, and then when the guy with the suit would jaywalk and incorrectly cross the street, people would follow him because he was wearing a suit. You're still breaking the law, but suddenly because the guy in the suit does it, it makes more sense, right? So that talks about the psychological impact of it, but knowing that, if you haven't heard of that, why would you not wear a suit? Why would you make it more difficult for yourself? That's why I would always go door to door in a suit. People would just respond differently, and it evens the playing field if you're new or don't have experience or you lack a little bit of confidence. I showed up looking like $1 million, and when I would see people's reactions, it would feed me and make me feel better until I had built the confidence and everything else. Now, I still wouldn't do it, but I could door knock with a wife beater on and still be effective. But I've earned the confidence now, but I would still show up in a suit. And I recommend you do the same. Okay, so I'll pass it to you, bro. Any closing remarks, and then we'll end it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate being here in your channel. So it would have been a whole different game if we started with you with an image consultant. Because I would have told you immediately, you can do this without wearing a suit. That's why people like me exist, right? I've dedicated my entire life into this science, literally. And you read my books. This is literally a science, the scientific study of image, of perception. So this is something that you read out of a GQ magazine, because that's the main issue. Most people just, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. But if you get it right from the get-go, if you hire an image consultant, and if you understand the tips and the tricks to make style your own, to make it on your own, then this is the main thing, right? That you learn who you are and you bring the best of you, which is what I always say. Be the best version of yourself. Not what he says, not what she says. Is about you and how to bring the best of it within and without. So that's why image consultants exist, and this is exactly why we help you. It's like a realtor, right? I can sell my home on my own, but if I hire a realtor, it's gonna be way better than if I just do it on my own. It's the same thing. You can be stylish, you can be beautiful on your own, but it's gonna be a whole different game if you actually learn it from an image consultant. So that's all I wanted to say, man. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching, and that's it for me. All right, see you guys.